What a weekend at Side Splitters. I had to call 911. Speaking of people doing horrible things, I'm driving down the street. I'm going to pick up Canner right before the show. And what do I see but a nice married couple walking up the street? Guy shirtless, gray sweatpants, young lady. And they're kind of yelling, but I couldn't tell. They might just be communicating. Some people communicate that way.
Sure.
They talk big and But sure enough, big two-hand shove to the lady onto the man. Gave him a good shove, and that's not going to work out.
No.
You can't be shoving people, and I don't mean to push, but I'm being shoved, as Eddie Vedder once screamed.
She pushed him or he pushed her?
She pushed him. They were
Okay.
yelling. I mean, who knows what they were talking about, but she gave him a good, like a lane shove.
Yeah.
Like, aha, get out.
And
then,
shirtless, too.
And then he kind of stood there for a moment and was like, oh, no, you didn't. And then he gave her a good shove, and then she hawked a big loogie. Now I'm driving towards them, so it's getting late. It's like I'm zooming in. And she hawked a big loogie right in his face, which I think is hot, as you know. I would like a
Yeah.
loogie in the face. That would give me a hard-on, but...
On the sidewalk, though?
This is on the street. We're into the street now. Because it's Florida, so it's
boy.
like that coarse, shitty,
Yes.
swampy grass.
Yes.
But a nice shove back and forth. Then the loogie. Then he starts walking away. And this is when I grab the phone. I'm like, I'm ready to make a phone call here. And then he stops, turns. She punches him. He punches her. And now we're off to the
boy.
races.
Wow.
And I just kept cruising along because I'm like, I don't want to. Because what happens is if you stop and watch, they turn on you. They're like, what's your fucking problem? Let's get... And then it's a 2-on-1. I got to speed away or whatever.
These aren't Asians.
No, these are African Americans if you need to know for visualizing.
Now you know.
But, yeah. So anyways, I called 911 up on the telephone. And I think they know, the 911 operators, they know that people are nervous about saying races.
Yeah.
So she's like... What's the race? African American, Asian, white? They go through all the options. So you can be like this, that one.
Yes.
Because they know no one wants to be like, well, I think they get a lot of calls being like, it's a guy,
Mulligans out
he's
there.
got boo, hey,
Yeah.
boo.
Little Schwarzfas.
So
they got Jordans on.
They give you the options. They're like,
Right.
A, Caucasian, B, African American, C. So I said, yeah, African American. And then they're fighting. I don't want to say it here. I'm terrified.
Yeah, we're all scared.
Yeah, this makes me nervous. But anyways, so they're fighting. And then you ever call 911? It's not your emergency.
No.
I'm eating a bagel. I had a peanut butter bagel. I went to Whole Foods, got a bagel and some peanut butter. I loaded it up. I'm all about the peanut butter bagel
Love
these days.
peanut butter.
So I'm sticking that up my ass. And my mouth is like full. So I call 911. And I don't want to be one of these people because now all of a sudden you're a bad person if you call the police.
I know, especially a whitey.
I know, but it's a guy and a girl. If it was two guys, I'd go, yeah, beat the shit out of each other. But it's a man and a woman, and, men tend to have the advantage physically.
Sure, which is fun because it kind of, we have all these gender is fluid and da-da-da-da-da. But when there's a guy hitting a woman, I feel like it all goes back to caveman zero.
Yeah.
That guy's strong. She's not as strong. He could hurt her. Like, it's all out the window. Amelia Earhart can blow me. This lady's getting beaten up. I'm going to try to help her.
Well, I tell you, she was faring pretty well.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah?
She was really throwing some combos and spitting and the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I call the police. I call 911. She goes, 911, what's your emergency? And it feels weird because my mouth is full, and I'm like, I have no emergency. I'm doing great. I had the set of my life last night, and I got a full mouth. She's like,
peanut butter.
She's like, what's going on? I'm like, I'm eating a bagel here. And she's like, you're choking? And I'm like, no, I'm just eating a bagel. There's a fist fight in the street. And
Yeah.
she's like, what street are you on? And I said, I don't know what street I'm on. I'm just driving. I thought they can use GPS and shit. Can't they track the call?
Yeah, well, that's Florida.
I go, well, I'm passing Coverfield Street. And she's like, are you going north or south or east or west? And I go, I don't know. And she's like, well, can you look at your phone? So I'm trying.
Look at your phone.
And I press the thing. I'm like, all right, I'm going east. And she's like, what's happening now? I'm like, I don't know. I'm wiping peanut butter on the seat. I drove away. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, yeah.
So I ended up picking up Jason. She's like, all right, we'll call you back if we need to. She took
Call
my
me
number.
back.
Which would be fun if I got 911 on the phone. It'd be
Oh,
fun to be
yeah.
like, what's your emergency? Kind of give them the good for the goose is good for the gander.
What race are you?
But isn't it exciting to show up and see the thing the state is known for?
Yeah.
It's like a shirtless fist fight in the street. If Hulk Hogan broke it up, I would have shit my pants.
Oh, you got that right, brother.
But it's like when you go to Paris and you see a guy with a baguette and a bidet,
Yeah.
and you're like, I'm in Paris, baby. But that's what this was like, but Florida.
I get it. It's like going to New Orleans. You see a guy in a seersucker suit walking an alligator going, I guarantee.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we did it.
Or Boston. Hey, you fucking queer.
Yeah, you see a nice, you see me.
That's so funny. I had a guy in New York. I was walking down Soho, whatever that street is, Prince Street, and this big old white guy. That old East Village white guy who's grizzled as shit. His hair's a little scraggly. He's got fucked up clothes. And he's going, look at this fucking guy smoking a cigarette. And I don't know who he's talking about or who he's talking to. There's a million people out. And then he walks through the street and a car goes, "Err!" And he goes, shut the fuck up. Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, this is all your fault. But he had like a bag in his hand. He's like, oh, what are you going to do about it? And the guy was like, it was like a lady in an Audi. She was like, ah. And that was it. But I was like, hey, that was some New York shit.
It's exciting because you travel enough, you start seeing crazy fun shit.
Yeah.
And all I ever think is like, podcast.
Right.
Like I see a couple. I'm like, I think there's a couple fist fighting. Yeah, great. I got something for the podcast. It feels nice.